Big fella,
121.1 gigawatts.
I'm intrigued here. Are you going to read it exactly how you have it written?
It says, scream, holy shit, mass panic. That's what it says.
That's pretty good. That's how I would have read it. What's going on?
I was a part. Ooh, puked in my mouth a little bit. Good grief.
Breaking down the fourth wall. Did you pick his fart up in last week's episode? Could you hear it?
No, we saw it, but you couldn't hear it.
Oh, you mean when he...
Yeah, and I'm like, good God. Like, that's what my problem was.
all stoved up.
Anyway, I was a part of a... I guess it was potentially like a really... had potential to be really bad.
Did you go to Bonnie Blue recording?
No.
Oh.
But, so we were at this PAC swim meet last night.
Big swim dad.
Yeah. 8 schools. It was girls only. Heritage Hills has a huge girls swimming team.
Okay.
Huge girls or a lot of girls?
Yeah, both.
Save some oxygen for the rest of us.
So anyway, I don't know if you guys remembered or not, but there was some substantial storms that rolled through last night.
Oh, yeah.
Tornado watches, thunderstorm warnings, all of these. So the tensions were already high. Softball practice canceled.
Yep.
Baseball practice canceled.
Not for us.
Church religion canceled.
Not for us.
Youth group canceled. Everything was. PAC swimming not canceled.
Were you disappointed in that?
No.
Okay.
Didn't bother me. We get down there. We're going. We're swimming. We're about 2 hours deep.
How long do swim meets last?
Well, this one took eternity because there were 8 divers, and each diver got 5 dives.
Oh boy,
40 dives for those at home not counting.
Not to mention their warm-up dives.
Oh boy,
Man.
You would think one of the 5 could be the warm up.
So we were on the second leg of the meet. So like the diving, they always call kind of like in the middle. So we're on the back half of it. We're running the first or second heat of the 100 freestyle. 6 lanes occupied. We're probably 2 minutes into the race. Not 2 minutes, because that's probably not what they race. Power goes out.
Ooh,
The whole pool room goes black.
that's a tough spot.
Then it comes back on.
NFH.
And then like the girls are like, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do?
Keep swimming.
And that's what friend of the program, Mr. Ryan Minky, his daughter was swimming in that particular event.
He's a swim dad too?
Yeah. And he was like, okay, go, keep going. Because all these other girls are just kind of like, oh my God, what's happening? And she's like, swim, like you're going to win. And then boom, goes black again. Well, then it's not just a flicker. Like this is, it's out. Like it's out.
Sustained outage.
It's out for good. Which then the mass panic starts.
Oh, boy.
Oh boy.
Because there's 6 middle school girls in a swimming pool that are on a swim team that are now in a pool that's, most of them were up on that end. It's 4.5 feet deep.
Just stand
What
up.
do I do? Put your feet down.
Yeah, in the dark, which I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not trying to downplay the situation, but maybe I am downplaying the situation a little bit. But like there were people literally screaming, running down the stairs.
In the dark?
In the dark, like just flipping out. Like they had never experienced a power outage before.
Yeah, panic's a dangerous thing.
And that's what I wanted to talk about was in this situation,
Okay.
or have you ever been a part of something like this before where something potentially like really bad is happening, but you, insignificant you, there is literally nothing you can do about it. Like nothing. Or in the situation where something is really bad happens, you can either A, fight, or B, flight. And that's, I don't know, like sometimes it's wild to see, like in this reaction, in this particular instance, Justine and I were there. My parents had already left because they knew the storm was going to get pretty gnarly. And the other two were at home. And of course, my mom was worried to death about the other two.
Yeah.
That were already just like chilling in the basement or whatever.
Yeah.
Cool place to be now.
Right. So they leave. And so it's us, the Minkies, and then some friends. Actually, a girl that Justine worked with at Women's. Women's. And then she worked with her and her mother at Holiday World for years. They're sitting right behind us, and we're all like experiencing the same thing at the same time. And like the older woman, she was like, "Oh my gosh, calm down, people!" Like she's saying these things kind of like under her breath.
Yeah.
Like, "Oh my God, quit screaming," because you're in a pool, so everything is
echoes
crazy. But I don't know, like it was wild to me to see like that kind of reaction, and I kind of like relate that to any other situation where like really, really bad shit is happening, or like what they think is really bad shit, but it's not, or maybe it is, or whatever. But like mass panic. Have you guys ever been in a situation like that? I got another one.
Okay.
We were at the Fourth Fridays.
Coming up soon. Shit.
Yeah.
Well, do they start in April or May?
I don't know. Somewhere.
Okay.
And we're at the Fourth Fridays. No, it's usually later than that, isn't it? Because it's hotter than shit when they start, don't they?
I think they do May, June, July.
Some of them, they run through football. I know that.
August.
Yeah. And they have those bounce houses. Our buddy Justin Reed with jumping jacks, which, by the way, he wants to get back in on the show. Had a bunch of, do what?
So we love to have them.
Oh, yeah. They have a bunch of jumping inflatables set up, and the park had just finished Market Street. This may have been like one of the first ones that they had, and the sod was new, and it rained, and it was kind of one of those deals. And the anchors for some of these inflatables are pretty substantial, whatever.
Yeah.
And this particular one that he had a set of stairs that went upside like a slide.
Mm-hmm.
And a person went up that slide on the stairs, and it caused the slide to overturn. So this whole ass big inflatable thing is overturning.
Giant pillow.
With lots of kids on it. But in turn, it unplugged it from the blower. So it's deflating and rolling over at the same time.
Probably would have helped the cause, right?
No. Because had you been on the bottom side of that deflated inflatable, suffocation would definitely be a possibility.
Yeah.
And in that particular moment,
that'd be a hell of a way to go.
People were just like losing their minds. How does a person become cognizant of that and like try to stay chill and figure it out before you flip the out? Like, how does that happen?
I think panic comes from, this is going to sound shitty. Panic stems from ignorance. Like people panic only because they have no idea what's going on. Like, and you can't discern any possible path forward from what is happening. So in the moment when all this is going on, you just can't see anything other than just terror. But most of the time, there's always a logical path forward. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's why people get in before panic, and not so extreme circumstances. You'll see people get real flustered because they're scared that they don't know what to do, and the impending thing is coming. Like, I don't know how to fix this. I don't know how to fix this, and then it finally falls apart, and that's when the panic happens. So maybe I'm speaking out of turn, that it's not just ignorance, because that quick you don't know, and not everybody's on their feet thinkers. But I think that's where it comes from, is just fear and ignorance of.
I think some of it is too. People are so unaware of their surroundings that they wouldn't take, like for your pool example, they're not taking into account the weather. They're not taking into account the fact that that pool should have security lights that come on.
And none of them worked.
That could have been a major lawsuit.
None of them worked.
We could have owned that pool.
One of them did in the lobby area. But like
somebody's not checking them. Then.
We were actually discussing that.
Somebody should. That's a big problem for them.
Yeah.
But like, to me, when I walk into a place, and Dave's a lot like this, I'm checking out who's there. I know my entry points, my exit points. I'm aware of my surroundings. The problem that you got today with a lot of people, they put one earbud in.
Oh yeah.
And you see it at work all day. People just walking around with one earbud in or their nose in their phone, don't have a freaking clue what's going on. And that to me is what feeds into some of that panic. You know, like some of that is if you have an ability not to predict, but hey, here's a possible scenario of what could happen.
Yeah.
And then if it does happen, you have that slight moment of where the fight versus flight takes hold. You take a deep breath. You're like, okay, well, this is what we need to do. It's turning over. Let's make sure there's no kids under there. Let's get it plugged back in right away. Let's get it turned over. Like people can't. I think there's a compartmentalization. Butchered that. But you know what I'm saying? Like you can break it down and put it in its own little box and do it step at a time.
Yeah.
Instead, what happens is people just see the whole picture.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's just the panic and they can't get over that next step when if you're aware of your surroundings and your settings and what's going on, you see it happen, you know what there is to take place. Like that's a lot of it in my mind. But you have people that walk around with their nose in their phones and earbud in and they're not paying attention. And then something like this happens. The first thing to do is mass panic. But that's the people that don't panic are the ones that end up getting hurt and killed because the assholes that lose their mind running out of a building screaming it's on fire. That's how that happens.
Well, and I think the earbud and phone thing, the issue there is you might not have under normal circumstances, those people may not panic. But when they go from, I'm keeping an ear on how the kids are doing in the swimming pool and also watching Maury or whatever, and then people start screaming and losing their ever-loving mind, then these people are like, oh, there must be a Godzilla here.
You get, I mean, it's kind of like that sympathy.
The Kraken is coming out of the deep end.
It's kind of like that sympathy puker. We all know that. Like if somebody else is puking and you're like, I got to puke with them. It's just, I don't know. But
I take medicine for panic issues. Like I've got a panic disorder and I've always had a little touch of the tism, with that panicky stuff. But it's always been like internal triggers that cause me to panic, like my heartbeat or if I'm dizzy which are all self-inflicted, but I don't have the ability to talk myself out of it. Like once I reach that point of no return, I'm on a one-way trip to Panic Town and it's a nasty feeling.
You're a big all or nothing guy.
Yeah.
Like your golf last week. I hate to keep bringing it up. One bad round.
Yeah.
But you were done.
It really wasn't bad. I did sink like a 20-footer on one.
Yeah, we didn't even hear that about that.
I know, because it was just really churching it up for the show.
No, you weren't churching up shit. You were in the dumps.
I did pipe a few drives with that big old Girth Brooks driver I got.
Amazing how all of a sudden now
wasn't that bad.
Yeah, wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it's all for the show, baby.
You're full of shit.
Show business. So I mean, but the thing is, I don't understand. When I went through. They call it EMR training now, but it's like basically you're a first responder. Like when we went through first responder and you get your medical first responder deals, and then being on a rescue team, they always taught like if you're on a rescue team and you get dispatched or you hear the call, the first person that arrives on scene is the incident command. Like you are the dude.
Yeah, you're the one running the show.
You are the run. You're the IC. You're the one running the show until someone with an equal or higher scope of care shows up. And the number one thing that they always teach is to not get tunnel vision. Whenever you become like hyper focused on, like you said, the bad shit. where like everybody is locked in. Like all of a sudden, when the lights went out, everybody simultaneously automatically assumed that every one of the girls in that pool were drowning.
The ones that are athletic swimmers
Yeah.
that could stand up.
And
So to save that, we're gonna have everybody fall down these concrete
Stairs to
break
try
their
to
neck,
get, in
and
the pool.
drown when they can't flap their arms.
To try to get in the pool to
when
save
they
the
could have grabbed a lane that was either right here or
Yeah.
right
They're
there.
just- they're
or
trying-
just said, Margie,
yeah, Marco.
you okay?
Marco.
Don't move.
You know what I mean? Like, so that's, but you get that mama bear instinct and all that, you know, which I'm not discrediting any of that. You know, they say a mother's strength, you know, the old adage where you could lift the car off of a,
Call me mommy.
yeah, stuff like that, you know, but I don't know. I don't know. Like my wife has seen some shit, you know what I mean? Like she is a trained professional
She's been to Nam.
in this stuff. Like this is her jam, you know what I mean? Like dealing with dying people. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but I just did.
Well, people die
I
at
think you're allowed to
hospitals
say
every day.
Right. But like, I think that, you know, and I've seen some pretty traumatic accidents and stuff like that myself, but it's like not, I mean, I'm not trying to say that not everybody's built for it, but like,
No, not. That's exactly the truth. Not everybody is built to be able to respond to those situations.
but if you're not built to respond to that situation, just know,
Sit your ass down.
yes, shelter in place. Like unless the building is on fire or like, you
And
know,
depending on who you are,
there is a
maybe
man
shelter
with a
in place.
gun coming at you. You know what I mean? Just chill. Just chill out, man. Yeah, there's nothing to do. Yeah, there's nothing, you know, there's nothing you can do about it. And that situation was handled professionally because like after everybody was screaming and that initial holy was, you know, going down, you know, then after everybody kind of came to, everybody like simultaneously got their cell phones out and turned their flashlights on. So then like the
So now the girls in the pool are blinded and don't know where
well,
they're
and
going.
Justine's talking on the phone with her flashlight on, binding the shit out of the person sitting next to her. It was hilarious. But, you know, the girls got out of the pool. Everything was square. Evelyn just came walking over to us and was like, hey.
Why is everybody freaking out?
Yeah, like, hey.
Dad,
you know,
what the hell happened?
holy shit, the power's out. And I'm like, yeah, really?
Isn't this cool?
You know, and, you know, but like, anyway, I don't know. There's a way to handle shit like that. And then there's also a way to not handle it. And
But
so-
we all know people in our lives that their first
Oh,
reaction is
man.
to panic.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Panic. Just freak
Yeah.
out.
Mm-hmm.
Not good.
Yeah.